All right, another Q4 strategy session. Today, we're talking all things tech with the tech guru, CEO of the Rohrman Auto Group. You know him, you love him. Ryan Rohrman has joined us today. Here we go. I'm going to just see myself out because Kyle and Ryan just get so nerdy that I always say I'm the lowest common denominator on the call today. Ryan, thank you for joining us.
Man, thanks for having me. That's quite the intro.
I don't know. Hey, if you ever need to feel good about yourself, you just dial me up.
Just dial us up. We'll throw some hip hop music behind it, and you'll feel great.
Give me the whole thing.
Oh, man.
No, but we're heading into Q4. We're in Q4, actually. I keep saying we're heading into every one of these, but we're in Q4, which brings a whole array of dynamics. We have holidays, we have time off, we have charitable things, we have all the shifting, and by the way, we have to wrap up a year. You and the group have spent so much time focusing on how to get tech aligned, how to deploy it throughout the store, how to integrate it with the customer experience. So we were going to ask you what you do and what your perspective is heading into Q4 or being in Q4, heading toward the end of the year. What mindsets have you delivered? And what are some of the best practices that you would encourage other dealers with?
Well, so, if anyone who's paid attention to what we've been doing, like what I've been talking about a ton is the whole concept of frictionless customer access to our inventory. So what I mean by that is, is your tech stack talking and are you getting the most from it? And then, the high level CDP, like owning your data, what does that look like over and over and over again? Even inside of our journey so far, we just partnered with a company who is literally cleaning our data monthly because we found out when we were doing it, well, at first we were going to do it twice a year, but then we found out, man, our employee input, whether it's being done on purpose or sloppiness or we'll just leave it at that for now. It's really bad, And so, after like 6 months, we'd fix our 2.3 million profiles, right? And be like, great. Our marketing is going to work. It's going to go to the right people at the right time, at the right place. 6 months passed. We look back at it and we're like, whoa, 40% of our data is dirty already. Wow. And that's a real number. And so then it was like, how's this happening? And so that's when we partnered with a company that now is doing that for us monthly. And so I think that's huge. Like not only is it important to have this perspective to finish well, sell as many cars as possible, but we also have this side of like, we need to be efficient as well. And I think, efficiency inside of our marketing, just think of how much money dealers waste when, even if 30% of your data is dirty. That means 30% of your spend is toast.
I think what this is telling me is like, we want to get to, we always want to try and get to a point where we have a set it and forget it thing, right? A silver bullet that just runs in the background and you don't even pay attention to, right? And what you're learning and what you're experiencing and now exposing to others is like, no, it's relentless pursuit of efficiency, relentless pursuit of great data, relentless pursuit of tech that connects well. And that's evolving faster than ever, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and to some extent it has to, right? And, there's so many different bridges you have to cross with this. We've talked about having that golden file, where it's like, this is it's like the Glengarry Ross. It's
I
like,
got the new leads, right?
Like, this is the gold, and so, we established a Snowflake instance, which that's our source of truth. And so we do all our activation from there. But at the same time, you still have this thing called a DMS and dirty data still going into it. Mm-hmm. And so, it's constantly trying to figure out, like in a perfect world, these things are all connected and they're all talking. And that has been another challenge, is just getting these big partners, big CRMs, big DMSs. The interesting thing is, I've talked a little bit about going outside of automotive for tech, and that's been really eye-opening to me in multiple ways. Number one, it's very inexpensive compared to what
this is a common thread we're hearing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, when I hear the price of them, it's like per store, and they're like, no, we don't look at it per store. It's just
they're like, you can do that. Hold on a minute.
yes, I'm just like, oh, and I'm looking at the people in the room. I'm just like,
nobody tell them.
Just tell them to send
nobody
over the
tell them.
No one tell him. No one tell him.
So. And they're all very easy to deal with. They're like, yeah, I mean, we'll set up anything you want, any way you want to set it up, we can do. But then you come up against these big tech monopolies inside of automotive, and they're like, we can't do it like that, or yeah, we can't write that back. And it's like, well, I can go in and manually write it back one file at a time. So why can't you write it back? In one file dump if it's the same way. And so we figured some stuff out. It's too early to tell yet, but I think we have finally figured it out where now our DMS is going to match our Snowflake instance.
Wow. That's cool.
So give us another 30 days. It's happening right now, but
so by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, and there are more and more, there's a growing group of dealer groups that are trending in this direction. So when I think about now Q4, let's say you've done the work over that last year, 2, 3 as an organization, and you're sitting here going, I need to make decisions to have business proficiency and execution here at the end of the year. How are you taking what you've set up now, and what really timely decisions are you making on top of that data, your marketing efforts, your efforts in the showroom, to leverage the tech that you've done a diligent job with?
Yeah. So I think the biggest way to do that, or the best way I can answer that question, is we spent a lot of time in September talking about that question, because we saw September slow down. Not just, I mean, we still had a good month, but we saw our internet, our GA4 data, we saw it really slow. And it's like, okay. And there's two things you can do with that. You can just be like, well, we'll see what happens as we go into Q4, or we've built this mechanism where we know we need to feed it. And there's times we don't need to feed it as much because consumers, market changes, demand is funneling it into it. And there's other times where it's like, we need to go and stimulate some folks to be clicking and stuff like that. And so it's really figuring out like what that is. So like I've had a lot of conversations even over the last like 3 weeks, going back to, I mean, my big thing is I don't want third-party leads. That doesn't mean I don't want third-party relationships. I don't want their leads. So they have great data. You know who I'm talking about? I mean, the traders, the car gurus, the cars.com, they have great data. I don't really care for the leads. The leads are, we all get the same leads. Historically, you can see the national closing rate is like so low. It's not a better, cleaner lead, which leads to a better, cleaner experience for our customers, which is what we're trying to establish that as, what makes us who we are. And so a lot of the partnership is, well, I don't want your leads, but how can I get your data and I can activate your data? And the 3 that I just mentioned, they're all open to it, and they all have different ways that they want to deal with that. So some of it is purely ingesting data, which we haven't done that quite yet because the scale and scope, it's in the tens of millions, and it's just, I'm not ready for that yet. To be quite frank. But referral traffic is a big buzzword right now, I think, for us. And it's like, how can these companies have done so well to get so many unique users to their platforms. How can I get the referral to my website from them? And so to answer your question, we don't want to see a dip in unique traffic to our websites because that is the machine and mechanism we've built. And so to overcome that, we've partnered with a couple more referral programs, not lead generating programs, but referral programs that our thought is It's going to drive unique visitors to our site that we're not getting right now.
Mm-hmm.
And just remember, the whole basis of a CDP is when that happens, they just from them coming onto my site, they now are into an activation channel that is above and beyond that referral channel. And now I can, they're whether it's an abandoned shopping cart or, they click down, through service or sales. So that's what we're doing. We've expanded our scope and expanded our desire to partner with some referral like products. And it's too early to tell. It takes a little bit of time that's not as fast as send us leads.
Right.
You have to start connecting accounts and social media platforms and stuff like that. So and that's, so we came to our agreements really towards the end of September. So that's it's all live and going live as we speak. So I think cool. That is going to be a really big.
I feel like we need a January episode of this thing.
Yeah. Like looking back,
this, right?
Well, tell us this, Ryan, as we close out today, if you're talking to a group of, we'll say 5,000 dealers, and they're trying to decide, I want to make some changes. I hear what Ryan says. He's on step 11, right? And I'm on step 2. What are the basic steps you're saying? Hey, here's some low hanging fruit. Here's what you would encourage those 5,000 dealers to do before the year's over.
I mean, step 1, I did this backwards. So we're actually we're working on something internally to help dealers with this.
Oh, nice.
But I think step 1, you have to make sure that the people you're marketing to, they own the car, they B, still live there. And just so you stop wasting money. You don't need to change anything else. You don't need to change who you're marketing with. You don't need to change your websites. You don't need to change your tech stacks. But man, you got to make sure your data is clean.
Yeah.
And because if it's not clean, even if you do everything else I'm doing, you still have this problem where 40% of every activation is going to someone who doesn't own the car,
right?
Doesn't live there.
And all those dollars go right to the bottom. And
that's just a pure waste of money. And, $1 pickup, this is cool. If you generate $500 of profit, how much goes to net, right? Yeah. When you save $500 of expense, how much goes to net? Right. Well, all of it in the expense line and very small percentages of it in the gross line. So I think that's why efficiency is king. It's not spending less. It's just spending smarter because you own the data and when you say, I'm marketing this message to these people, 100% of the people, whether they're reading or not, that's another thing. But at least the people you want to get the message, they are in fact receiving it.
Well, look, I don't know if we could end it any better than that. Ryan, thank you as always for being so open-handed and helping everybody take a step little by little. Thanks for leading the way. We are going to check in with you in January to see how everything went.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.